Right now, it's a hellish night for the Russians. Dozens of explosions have hit Russia. Everything is on fire. Footage from the epicenter of events is blowing up the internet. So, what was hit and what's the situation there now? Let's go through everything step by step. Welcome, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Renata Aslanova, and here are the latest events. Last night, unidentified drones attacked Russia's Lipetsk region. The drones appeared in the sky around 1 in the morning. In less than an hour, Governor Igor Artamonov was already reporting that the UAVs had been suppressed. However, the head of the region noted that a fire broke out in the industrial zone, allegedly due to falling debris. After that, an evacuation began there.
There are probably a lot of them. That's it, there you go.
Artamonov also warned that mobile internet service in the city might be temporarily restricted to provide more effective protection against UAVs. Artamonov did not specify which facility was engulfed by the fire, but local residents did so instead. Eyewitnesses claim that there were at least 10 explosions in the air and several strikes on the Energia plant.
It's about to happen right here, really close. There. Whoa, oh my gosh.
Soon after, Artamonov got in touch again to refute reports of a hazardous substance leak following the fire. The governor also reported 8 people injured in the industrial zone and debris falling on a residential building. The head of the Center for Countering Disinformation, Andriy Kovalenko, has already confirmed the attack on the Energia plant. It is reported that after the strike, the enterprise is suspending its operations. The Energia plant in the Lipetsk region is the largest enterprise in Russia specializing in the production of chemical power sources. The plant's products are widely used in various sectors, including the defense industry, civil aviation, maritime transport, and the energy sector. Thus, the Lipetsk Energia plant manufactures batteries, including those for UAVs, as well as batteries for aviation and the Navy. According to local media reports, they produce everything from AA batteries to power sources for Bulava missiles and spacecraft. According to reports last year, the plant nearly doubled its output of commercial products. In total, over the past 3 days, Russia has already been attacked by more than 750 Ukrainian drones. This is the longest and most massive drone attack since Putin refused to agree to a ceasefire. 15 regions of Russia and the occupied Crimea have come under attack. Strikes on military factories have been recorded, and hundreds of flights have been delayed, causing Russia enormous economic losses. People are left without mobile internet. For example, the day before, due to a drone attack, hundreds of passengers were stranded at Vnukovo, Sheremetyevo, and Domodedovo airports. Russians were unable to depart, and dozens of flights were delayed. The mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, claims that Russian air defense shot down 5 drones that were flying toward Moscow. Meanwhile, in the Oriol region, due to the threat of UAVs, they decided to restrict internet and mobile communications. The governor claims that over 20 drones were allegedly destroyed over the region during the night. An attack was also reported in the Tula region, where, according to the governor, several houses were damaged. The defense ministry of the aggressor country reported intercepting over 100 drones overnight.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism, and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Around 100 Russian targets hit is the result of the new Ukrainian strike and reconnaissance complex Bulava. It was used on the battlefield for the first time this year. Ukrainian defenders are already noting that in terms of its characteristics, the Bulava surpasses the Russian Lancet. And in the future, the manufacturers plan to increase its strike range to 100 kilometers deep into enemy territory. All the details are coming up in the report.
The Leleka rises high into the sky and searches for Russian nests so that the armed forces of Ukraine can strike them with the Bulava. There are already some very valuable targets. Buk M3s have been hunted down, as well as TORs, enemy electronic warfare systems, and this is Pole 21.
These 2 drones operate as a pair.
The Leleka 100 M2 serves as both a scout and a relay, while the loitering munition Bulava, with a warhead weighing almost 4 kilograms, locks onto and strikes enemy equipment or personnel.
If everything is fine and they are ready for use, then within the target area, approximately in the vicinity of the target, the reconnaissance aircraft remains and it acts as a relay. From the position where the team is operating or from a neighboring position, the strike component of the system takes off. This is our aircraft called Bulava. and the operator guides the Bulava to the target area, where our reconnaissance relay aircraft is located nearby.
In the presence of our film crew, the developers of Mu Constructor are assembling drones. Bulava destroys enemy targets at a distance of 60 kilometers. During a mission, it can only be used once. In order not to waste a resource that is precious to our defenders, here in the field the pilots only launch the Leleka into the sky. This UAV is capable of carrying out multiple reconnaissance missions and returning home each time.
We have worked with reconnaissance technology our entire lives. That is, we have a flagship, our MVP, the Leleka 100. It is the most widely used drone in the Ukrainian army. Every brigade knows about it. Already during the full-scale war, we made improvements and developed the reconnaissance drone Leleka 100 M2, a complete system with enhanced features. It flies longer, flies farther, has better communication channels, and so on. But when strike drones like the Lancet began to be used en masse in this war, all Ukrainian companies were given a task by our military. We want our own Lancet.
And the company did in fact offer the defense industry its own loitering munition with an X-shaped design. Bulava exceeded almost all expectations. One of its advantages is its high resistance to enemy electronic warfare.
In all characteristics, it is very similar. But in terms of communication channels, in my opinion, we use a higher quality communication channel, which is harder to jam, more reliable, and more flexible for the user and for future upgrades. A much more effective nomenclature, in my opinion, of combat units.
Moreover, the aircraft is capable of staying in the air for almost an hour, climbing to an altitude of about 2,000 meters and reaching speeds of up to 100.
As for the Bulava, this is the first codified reconnaissance and strike complex in Ukraine. At the moment, there are already several groups of regular operators for it.
Overall, the strike and reconnaissance complexes have carried out more than 100 combat missions on the battlefield. They are constantly being improved.
The future modification of the Bulava is planned as follows. First, to increase the combat payload, meaning that the ammunition load will be larger, not 3 to 6 kilograms, but 5 kilograms, and so that it can fly further, up to a distance of 90 kilometers. Because HIMARS is great for striking at 90 kilometers, but there are a lot of targets where you need to work precisely. For example, when there's a Bukanka van with an enemy crew, they send a HIMARS, but it's very expensive, and it should be used for other types of targets, large area targets. But when you need to find and neutralize an enemy Bukanka van at 90 kilometers, that's a job for loitering munitions.
And most importantly, the military are satisfied with the results of these drones.
Well, the military have an old rule that a means of destruction should be at least 4 times cheaper than the target it destroys. If it's a Buk missile system, then it's probably hundreds of times cheaper. If it's, say, enemy electronic warfare equipment, it's dozens of times cheaper. And if it's artillery, it's also dozens of times cheaper.
In addition to manufacturing strike and reconnaissance drones, the company also trains pilots. Among the students are both experienced servicemen and those who have just joined the armed forces of Ukraine.
Since the start of the full-scale invasion, the number and need for training operators of unmanned aerial systems has increased significantly. We developed our own center, certified it with the Ministry of Defense, and have been conducting training at our own expense for more than 3 years now. We have, I'm not afraid to say, one of the most powerful service centers, which operates 24/7. Not a single day since the start of the full-scale invasion has this service center stopped working.
The company produces hundreds of such reconnaissance and strike drones every month. However, the state's financial capabilities are limited. The developers are hoping for help from our Western partners so as not to lose precious time in destroying the Russian forces. Mikhailo Baneliuk, Olena Mendeliuk, Volodymyr Samchenko, Yaroslav Zasoba. Podrobici, Inter-TV channel, Vidminivai Marathon.
And what do you think about these mysterious drone attacks on important Russian targets? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video and stay up to date with the main news. More to come.